Today's topic is all about the puffs and their types of puffs. So this puffs pastry is a light and flaky pastry made by layered dough and butter through folding a and rolling process. So it is known for its buttery, crispy layer that puffs up during baking due to steam created by the butter. There are different types of variations and puff pastry based on how the dough is handled. Now we will see the types of puffs. Puffs making types of puffs is a classical puffs, rough puff pastry, inverted puff pastry, and blitz puff pastry, half puff pastry. Now we will see the types of puff pastry in classic puff pastry, the traditional method that involves multiple layers of dough and butter, resulting in a highly flaky and light pastry. It is used for both and savory and dishes. Next is all about rough pastry, and it is a quick and less precise version of classic method. The butter is worked into the dough in a larger chunk and fewer folds are made. While it is less uniform, it still creates flaky layers, inverted puffs. So these inverted puffs, this version flips the traditional method by encasing the dough with the butter layer rather than encasing the butter into the dough. It produces fine and very flaky texture. Next puffs is all about blitz puffs. It is a fast version similar to the rough puff pastry. It involves folding the dough with a small piece of butter but with a fewer fold and it turns. It is a great for recipes requiring less puffing but still a flaky texture. Half puff pastry. This puff pastry has a fewer layer and is often used when a lighter, less puffed effect is needed. Like in Danish pastry, it is flaky turnover. Now we will see the classic puff pastry recipe. For making this classic puff pastry, 2 cups of say 250 grams of all-purpose flour and 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 cup of cold unsalted butter, and it is cut into small cubes, and 2/3 of cup of cold water we have, and a few grams of extra flour is needed for dusting. Now we will see the puff pastry method. Preparing the dough. Combine all the dry ingredients in a large bowl. Mix the flour and salt. Then add the water gradually. Pour into the cold water and mix with a spatula or in your hand to form the rough dough. Then second step is to knead and turn the dough onto a slightly floured surface and knead until smooth. Next is all about shape the dough into a square and wrap it in a plastic wrap and chill it in the refrigerator for at least 30 minutes. Common uses of puffs for savory is ball oven. Hollow cases filled with savory filling like mushrooms or seafoods. Pithiviers is a French dish where the puff pastry encloses various types of filling like meat or cheese. Sausage rolls, cheese straws, and tartlets. Tartlets are mini puff pastry shell filled with vegetables and meat and cheese. Common uses of puff. We have to keep the everything in cold. Butter should be cold at the all time, and the dough should be chilled between the fold. It helps creates the layer. Even use even pressure. Avoid overworking. Bake at a high heat. For perfect puff pastry, you have to use the cold butter and use even pressure when rolling the dough. Use even pressure to distribute the butter and dough layer evenly. Avoid overworking. Be gentle with the work with the dough to prevent developing too much gluten, which can make the pastry tough. Bake at high heat. Puff pastry best at high temperature and which help create steam that lift the layer. So hope you got about the puff pastry in baking. Thank you.